Well, welcome into Beyond Sunday. I'm your host, Luke. I'm joined by another church planner, Riley Halliday. You guys most recently heard from Joshua Simonette of Hopeville Church in Baltimore, Maryland. But today we've got Riley of Manna Church. Riley, why don't you tell us where you guys are at, how long you guys have been around, just the brief background of Manna Church.
For sure. Well, Luke, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to share today. So I planted Manna Church in the city of Newport News, Virginia, right after the pandemic. So that was 2021. But Manna is also a bigger family. We like to say that we're many churches in many locations. And so my sending church is also named Manna. We're all independent. We're not like some denominational movement or anything like that. But we do all agree to kind of like keep the same name, and we try to replicate the same church culture. Okay. So that's kind of the origin story. Been going about 5 years now, yeah.
Okay. Yep. So is it vastly different then from like a church who has, like for the Springs, right? We have Lady Lake, we have Middleton, and we pretty much run like the same. It's very uniform, same series, stuff like that. Are you all doing different series or same ones, or what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, so we keep it simple. For us, it's name. So you're going to be Manna Hawaii, Manna West Florida, whatever. Logo. So there a lot of our branding looks similar. There's some creative liberty in that as well. And then our growth track, which a lot of churches have a growth track. It's kind of like your next steps. Those are similar, but everything else, from service flow, style of preaching, content, all of that's unique to that lead pastor. We're all standalone 501c3s. There's not like some big central thing that manages everything. It's kind of like when your kids move out. It's like, all right, son, you got to eat what you kill, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Riley, tell our listeners, our viewers, a little bit about you, about Riley, right? So you can go back as far as you want. But
I was a twinkle in my dad's eye.
So what were you doing leading up to getting into ministry?
For sure. Yeah, man, great question. So I actually spent a little bit over a decade serving in the United States Air Force. So I'm a military brat. My mom and my stepfather are both Army, and all growing up, all my stepdad would say is, never join the Army, join the Air Force. They eat better, they live better. So I believed them. So I ended up enlisting, did a year of college, enlisted after that. And after getting recruited to special operations, that brought me to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. We started attending Manna Church there.
Oh, wow.
And we're members of that church since 2013. Serving on different teams, getting involved in small groups, marriage groups, student ministry, all the stuff. And in 2016, our senior pastor gave me the opportunity. We started planting more churches, and he basically said, hey, your campus pastor, we're sending him away, and we want to hire you to replace him. So it was just kind of this wild moment for my wife, Tasha, and I, where we said, okay, let's take some time, let's hear from God. And God made it very evident that our next step was, hey, we're hanging up the uniform, and it's time to serve in a different capacity by serving the local church.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you and Tasha have how many kids?
We have 4.
Okay.
2 boys, 2 girls. Our oldest is 17, so he's a man. Like, we're doing the whole driving and all that stuff now. Yes. So y'all pray for me. Our next son, he is 12. Okay. So high school, middle school. Then we got smart. We started having girls.
There you go.
They got me wrapped around their finger. Like, how many ponies do you want? We're gonna get all the ponies. Our oldest daughter is 6, and our youngest is 4. Okay. So zone defense for sure. We're spread out.
Yeah, you have to at that point. I cannot imagine, because we've got a 4, almost 5-year-old girl.
Come on.
And we have a 2, almost 3-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah.
And sibling rivalry develops so early.
Instant. Yeah.
It's so early. And there's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is hard.
Oh, yeah.
This is hard. These are hard ages.
No doubt.
Our 4, almost 5-year-old is just she's discovering just her voice. Yeah. Her personality. She's discovered sass.
Oh, yeah. Quick.
Like nobody else. And our son just wants to, headbutt a wall.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's a boy for you.
There is absolutely differences between boys and girls, just 100%, naturally.
100%, yeah.
And that is one of them.
Hey, it's all good, man.
Rough around the edges.
Lots of pink and tea parties happening these days for us.
Well, my son my son just wants to be a part of it, right? So he'll come out of Harper's bedroom and she will have put him in a princess dress.
Oh, man.
And so Lauren and I were like, we need to get him some outfits, some dress-up outfits.
Yeah.
So now he has a firefighter outfit.
There you go.
But he still will come out in a Elsa dress every once in a while. But it's a rite of passage for a younger brother, I think.
Earn your stripes,
Yeah, so Riley, being in the military for 10 years, first of all, thank you for your service.
Absolute honor. Thank
you. Were you guys stationed in the same place the whole time, or did you guys move around?
So in the Air Force, we did get to probably stay in one place longer than a lot of different branches of service. So we started, Tasha was Air Force too, so we both met when we were in Texas. Shepherd Air Force Base. Okay. We spent about 4 years there. She went to Korea, and she actually got out of the military when she gave birth to our oldest son.
Okay.
And so from there, that's when I got recruited to Special Operations. And that is kind of like a black hole in a sense, where a lot of the gravity for that is Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So I actually spent the last 7 years of my career all stationed there. But from there, I traveled all around the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
What would you say from a military perspective that you gained leadership-wise that translates really well to the church world?
Yeah, I think what's really helped me a ton is some of just the chain of command.
Yeah.
And I know for a lot of people, they're like, what does that mean? There are just certain conversations that are appropriate at certain levels. And so what I've seen, even being a part of a mega church and then planting a church, is Christians don't really walk the whole Matthew 18 thing well. If you have a problem with someone, try to solve it at the lowest level. Like, don't come tell me as the pastor, hey, I have concerns about so-and-so's marriage. And so I think just having that structure baked into me from serving in the military, it was real clear that, no, I need to let my staff lead their teams. I don't need to be in the weeds muddying what they're doing. I need to operate at the strategic space, because that's the one thing I get to do for our church. Like, no one else on our team can do that.
Yeah.
And so I don't need to dilute what it is they're doing by meddling with it too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about your church, and you guys said you started how long ago? You said
2021.
2021.
So, September, yep.
And when did kind of the springs get intertwined with Manna Church's story?
Yeah, so y'all became a big player for us going into year 2. So it was a pandemic, and we wanted to launch in 2020, but that changed.
Of course.
And so we waited and waited, and we're like, man, we got this momentum, we got this launch team. We got to pull the trigger on this. So we launched, and we learned a lot of tough lessons. We launched about 200. We dipped down, and I reached out to SLN, Strategic Launch Network, and just a great family that came in support with the coaching. And so where Church at the Springs became a huge help for me was with the whole Church OS piece.
Yeah.
I came to a training that was held here. Your dad, Pastor Ron, he was hosting it. I got to meet Hal Mayer, and basically they gave me the playbook.
Yeah.
Going through that whole process, rallying our church around the language of, for the one, was catalytic. And obviously there's the financial support, there's the practical coaching, absolutely a game changer. Now we're running about 600 people in attendance, just to kind of show you some of the fruit from the relationship. So, yeah.
So obviously you've got the Springs, you've got my dad that will lead coaching networks and stuff like that. But even more than that, do you have kind of that network of pastors that you guys, whether you met them through SLN or somewhere else, that you're bouncing ideas off of and talking with?
Oh, absolutely. So even being a part of Manna, and I guess you could call us a network in that sense, every Tuesday we have a Zoom call.
That's awesome.
And guys in different time zones, but we commit to like, hey, this time we're going to encourage one another. We're going to share things that we're learning. We're going to pray for each other. So that's just been a huge lifeline. But also outside of my tribe, SLN has been great. So regionally, there are other pastors that are in the network that we'll just kind of do our own thing. It's like, hey, man, you want to meet up for coffee? Like, I'm going to be in Baltimore. Like Josh.
Yes.
Josh is a bro for me.
Yeah.
And we've called or text each other to just kind of bounce ideas or, man, I'm processing this. And, just to any pastor, but really, honestly, anybody listening, don't do life alone.
Right.
The more that we can like share and labor together, just makes everything better for us.
Have you met Isaac Frere?
Oh, yeah.
And Tampa and Brew?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's killing it, man.
He was on, we had him a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And so he's shared his whole testimony of getting saved in a club in Miami and shared it on the podcast. And so he's awesome. But one thing, the reason I bring that up is because I think that there's people who plant churches, they're used to being underneath someone, being coached and poured into and invested in.
Sure.
And it feels like it's super easy to plant a church and just isolate because you're surviving.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, that's why I'm thankful that the Springs and my dad has just the passion for the pastors that are planting.
Absolutely.
Because without it, man, you might sit down and not have anybody to do feedback with for your message week to week. Like you're the guy now.
Absolutely.
You're the one that's got to be giving feedback.
Yep.
You don't always get it. And I think you definitely still need it.
100%.
No matter how long you've had the church. And so, just really cool. And that's why summer is my favorite time. But now it has even more kind of been magnified for me because I've been sitting down with you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And hearing the stories. And so my favorite question to ask has been, what's the coolest thing that God has done at your church specifically?
Oh, man. I know you probably heard that. It's a song that's popular a couple of years ago, like Million Little Miracles. Like I can't even count them all.
Yeah.
Like that's really what this journey has been for us. And just stuff that he's done in me, bro. Like when I tell you God uses church planting to like wring out your pride, oh my goodness. Like God has humbled me and it's been a delight. But one thing that I keep celebrating, just because it was a huge win for us as a local church, is when God led us through our first merger. And so what that looked like, we were growing, and the venue that we met in, they basically said, hey, you can't meet here anymore. You got a couple months, and you need to figure it out. So we started scrambling, like, what are we going to do? Had we not been put in that situation, we wouldn't have even been looking. And so there was a church in our city, had a great facility, large property, but they were dying. COVID really ravaged this church. Generationally, they were aging out, and they were down to about 30 people. And we started exploring, like, hey, what would it look like if y'all became Manna? And so God did a cool thing because their options were, hey, let's give it to the denomination. We could do that. There's a big church in our area that this is what they do. They revitalize dying churches. So it actually made sense for them to pick one of those options. But God did a work. Like I watched him change these people's hearts, and they were like, nope, we need to give this church building to Manna.
Wow.
And so now, being on the other side of that, that happened in 2023.
Yeah.
God's provided resources. We've renovated the space. We've actually stole some ideas from you guys. We're operating like a early childhood education space.
Okay.
Just to be good stewards of what God's given us.
Yeah.
But now we own a 10-acre, 48,000 square foot facility.
Man.
That cost us no money.
And
it's absolutely incredible.
So you guys were, prior to that, you guys were meeting where?
So we were renting a facility from another church in our city.
So obviously a huge step up in terms of the space.
Absolutely.
How about like auditorium size? Where were you guys at, and where are you guys now?
Yeah, so we were running about, we maxed out the other space. We were doing 2 services, and that was basically to get us to like 250. It was a real small venue. We were landlocked. Parking was an issue. Kids were booming, and so we were running out of kids space. So we knew that we couldn't stay there forever anyway.
Yeah.
But what was neat to see is as soon as we moved into the next space, we jumped from 250 to 350. Like 100 people showed up overnight.
Yeah. You make the space.
Then the following year, 450. Then we jumped over 550. Now, like I told you, it's summer, but we're already creeping at 600.
That's crazy, man.
So I think having that presence in our city, like a brick and mortar, like no kidding, we're here all the time. Definitely added some value for us being able to reach people.
Yeah. So we have a campus that you preached at yesterday. As
Middleton. Yeah.
That is very portable.
Yeah.
And very much not in a building. That is their own. Can you talk just a little bit about your experience at Middleton?
Yeah.
Maybe impression of Middleton, and when you step away, preach your last service there, like you reflect on Middleton yesterday. What was it like for you?
Yeah, dude, I love that campus. Not trying to be biased, but like just the the joy that I saw on the faces of your team when they showed up, from Rhett being there, firing them up with like your team rally. It was just cool to see people who could easily just bask in retirement.
Yeah.
But they said, I'm going to get here early and I'm going to create a space
Yep.
where other people can experience God. From setting up, and I mean, this is work. Like I call it Church 90X. Like you want to get CrossFit, do church in a box, man. Rolling out all those carts and setting out all the chairs. But they were getting after it, man. And I left so full. Like even though I'm preaching, I want to say it refreshed my soul just to be in that environment with those worshipers. So
they've got a lot of energy over there, despite a lot of them being villagers who are retired. Like you said, showing up early.
Come on.
I think that they get to the facility, the storage unit, at like 6:30.
Incredible.
So they have somebody that drives with the trailer attached. Yep. They have two separate trucks that have equipment full.
Wow.
And they're a well-oiled machine at this point. But you mentioned Rhett.
Oh yeah.
And I'll go ahead and brag on Rhett because we did this the other day. We made a post about the youth group out there. So.
Okay.
About a year ago, so probably like whatever that was, like 6 months into being weekly there, they decided we need a student ministry.
Got it.
Because eventually they're going to be actually in Middleton in that community where
draw
they're
the families
right across the street from the church.
Of course.
So, or from the school, the charter school there. And so Rhett starts out a meeting in a park, and they have two students the first weekend, the first week that they do it, right? It's in the dead of summer. Two students. They did a service a week ago that they did. They're meeting in a house now of a couple that just gives their house away to us on Wednesday nights.
Wow.
And Rhett just stands in the front of the living room, gives a word. They use the TV for points and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they play outside in the backyard. They got a big backyard out there.
No way.
Last week, I think they had 52 students.
Okay.
Middle school and high school. So a year later, they go from 2 in a park to 52 in a house.
Crushing it.
And there's a video I'll have to show you after we get off here. But there's a video of them worshiping. We didn't have service at our Ocala campus for students last week.
Okay.
And so they had those that do worship here, and then some Middleton guys on Sunday go and lead in the house.
No way.
So there's a video of all of them worshiping together, and they pan around, and just the kids don't stop.
Wow.
Like you just see kids everywhere. And
so good.
Really cool what God is doing in Middleton, and happy that you guys get double reps here. So
we love it.
You preach it at Middleton, and you'll be here this weekend as you listen or watch this. You heard Riley yesterday. So with your message, Riley.
Yeah.
What was kind of the heartbeat behind doing that message? Because you could do whatever at this point.
Sure.
I think that there's kind of like, just do whatever.
Yeah.
People just want to see you.
I like the vote of confidence.
People want to hear your story, where you're at. They want to see, where they've been investing, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why this is such a cool time. But why was it that message that you were like, man, this is the one that I just feel like I need to do?
For sure. Luke, I'm glad you asked that too, because I want to apologize. I know I created a little hiccup because, bro, on Wednesday before we got ready to make the trip down, I woke up and the Lord was like, this message. And I had already sent a version of what I wanted to share previously, completely different message. Yep. And so I text Christine, and obviously
can't confirm completely.
Oh yeah. So I apologize. I
did not your fault.
So, anyways, I blame God. It was all Him. So I shared a message that I called "In the Silence," and based out of Genesis 12, where we see God call Abram, and then you take that all the way to the sacrifice of Isaac. And so, while I thought that would be timely, the Lord really placed it on my heart practically. From those moments that I've wrestled with God, where if I felt like I was asking Him questions, I'm crying out, and I'm hearing crickets. And, I know how to hear from God. Like, I engage Him in His Word, and it's like, why are you not answering me? And so I kind of wanted the church to kind of feel some of that from some of my stories, but then also the reality of like, but in those moments, man, God did a great work in me. And He's always showed up, even when I'm squirming and thinking things are out of control. I was never in control in the first place. And what I love about Abram's story, he's 75 when he starts. And I believe that could be such an encouragement to people who are looking at their next season, or maybe they think they're in the twilight of their ministry or their career. And I'm like, no, this guy is just getting started. Like God is about to do his greatest work in Abram's life. And so I just hope that would encourage people, to remind them that if you're still here, God's not done, and he does really have good plans for you.
Yeah, man, I love that, and I'm happy that we got to hear from you. You mentioned like you're just getting started. Like that entire concept is powerful because, like you said, you feel like you're at the twilight, but really God can still use you.
Come on, bro.
And I think as a Christian too, like as you get older, you probably can lose sight of that. Sure. But also you might become more reflective where you're like, man, God did this and this, and I want to be a light to the person just like someone was to me.
That's right, yeah.
And so it's like I want to think that at 75, 80, 85, that
there's more.
Even if I'm helping save one more person,
let's go.
That it's worth it.
That's
and
right.
that God was not done with me.
That's good, bro.
And so I'm really happy that we got to hear from you. And I want to wrap up with this. We did this with Joshua. I wish that we had done it with Isaac.
Okay.
But something that I thought to do is like people watching or listening, they know your face. They hear you on a Sunday, probably one Sunday a year if they're at the Springs, right? But how, I think it's more important and on an intimate level, how can we be praying for Manna Church? And because I know for Joshua, it was, for building and making decisions the next year.
Absolutely.
For you guys, what would you say is kind of your one specific prayer that you would appreciate right now?
Yeah, I think y'all have a grace for the thing that burdens me the most. And, we're reaching people that aren't close to where we gather. In our area in Virginia, there are 7 cities all separated by water. And you can drive it in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. But for some reason, it's a psychological barrier when you have to drive through a tunnel that goes under the water to get to another city. So we're reaching people, but it's hard for us to get people to invite their neighbors because of the geography. So, we're young. Like I said, we're a little over 4 going into year 5. But we're dreaming multi-site. And what does that look like? Like, do you need to grow to your like 2,000 to start multi-siting? But we already have people who watch us online. And so we just want to be good stewards, because if we want to make disciples, if we want to help people go and reach their ones, then I believe it's the responsibility of the local church to equip them to do that. So we're just dreaming right now. Again, there's no clear open door, but the prayer request would be like, Lord, just make it obvious. Maybe there is another merger. Maybe some church reaches out and says, hey, we love what you're doing. Can you help us do it over here? Maybe that's a church planter, because we want to be, like Church at the Springs and like other great churches in our network, that we invest in the next churches. So those, I would say, would be the 2 big things. How do we multiply? How do we plant more churches?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know for a fact that God works in those stories because he's worked in ours.
Come on, bro.
I know that there's been a lot of times where my dad, his leadership team have been hoping, praying, dreaming about another campus at some point, right? Like this was before Middleton.
No way.
And then my dad gets a call, and it's like, we want you to be the church in Middleton. And it was like, boom, boom.
Wow.
Really crazy story of how that happened. And then just the faithfulness of people giving. And feeling the same passion that we all felt about starting Middleton. And so it's been really awesome. So I know that there's something for you guys coming next, and I'm confident in that. So Riley, I appreciate you joining.
Thanks.
It's been awesome. And for you guys watching, listening, that's how you can pray for Manna. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I've got to now work on lining up the next speaker. You church planners are kind of hard to get down. I'm not gonna lie. You were relatively easy, and I'm learning. Right? I'm like, okay, when they come in for capture, I need to snag them right after.
That's it, man.
And I think that's the formula. So you guys will be hearing from someone next. I'm going to track them down, and we're gonna make it happen. So, all right, appreciate you guys listening, and until next time, we'll see you.